Thank you for joining us. My name is Brandon Lockett, and this is Banking on Intelligence, a thought series hosted by nCino. I'm joined here with Mr. Ryan Storey. You're the Chief Risk Officer at Great Southern Bank.
That's right.
Ryan, thanks, first of all, for being here. Tell us maybe a little bit of background on your banking history, kind of what brought you here today.
Sure. Yeah. I've been with Great Southern Bank my whole career, 21 years. I've worked mostly on the lending side, actually. So up until about 3 weeks ago, I was the director of loan operations at Great Southern, and then moved over to risk management, taking the chief risk officer role about 3 weeks ago. Here today because I've been the product owner and partnership owner with nCino at Great Southern for the last 8 years since we signed a contract and went down a process of implementing commercial lending on our nCino platform. So.
Well, we're glad that you're here. Thanks for being with us and for sharing your banking knowledge, your nCino knowledge with us.
Yeah.
Let's maybe talk about the banking landscape and tell me a little bit about maybe some of the struggles that you see within financial institutions today.
For banks in general, I think balance sheet management is a big piece of what we're dealing with. So everybody's fighting, or the same battle is fighting for deposits. Loans are a little bit slow. Interest rates are, anybody's guess on what direction they're headed. So we're constantly, trying to manage that, bring in deposits, make good loans at good rates to buffer our margin and provide return for our shareholders and our customers.
Now, with that said, given the landscape as you were just describing it, how do you think banking perhaps could be made better?
Yeah, well, I think certainly the battle that we're all facing is how do we make it more tangible and faster for our customers. So banking is a relationship industry, and so we're always going to maintain those relationships with our customers, but how do we continue to make that relationship enhanced by putting their money in their hands quicker, easier, and then providing them good advice on how to invest that money, how to make that money create a return for them in the process. And so I think we're continuing to invest in technology to find the best way to enhance that relationship with our customers.
Really using technology to keep things relationship-centric.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Talk to me about how you're reaching different customers generationally and how you guys at Great Southern are interacting with the differing generations.
Yeah. As a community and regional bank, I don't think we're alone in this. Our demographic, we know our customer base is an aging demographic. And so as that customer base ages and begins to transfer their wealth to the next generation, we need to know and understand that next generation and how they expect to interact with their bank. And generations that have grown up strictly with technology and maybe banking only on their phone, that's easy in the early years of their generation. But as they face more complicated, more challenging decisions of what to do with their money, how to handle their money, how to buy a house, how to invest in a business, those sorts of things, it becomes more relational, and they need someone to go to for financial advice. And so we want to make sure that we're the bank that they're going to for that advice. They may still expect to do that on their phone and not have to walk into a banking center in order to get that advice. So how do we take that advice and put it where they're expecting to receive it?
So with that, where do you see maybe in the course of the next 5 years, let's say, 5 years, 10-year time horizon, how do you see the landscape of banking changing, perhaps from a technology standpoint?
Yeah, I think a lot of our customers are getting used to the speed of technology and expecting that of us. And so in the next 5 to 10 years, I don't expect the relationship side of banking to change, but that relationship may be less face-to-face and more digital as wealth transfers from one generation to the next, and that generation has different expectations on us. How can we put that relationship in front of them digitally? How can we interact with them better if they're not walking into our banking centers? So those are aspects that we're going to consistently look to to enhance over the next 5 years. And then, we obviously that involves, AI, artificial intelligence, and how do we train those AI tools to interact in the same way that they're used to interacting with Great Southern Bank.
Excellent. And to focus maybe continuing on the future and looking toward the future from a Great Southern perspective, from your role as the Chief Risk Officer at Great Southern, how are you powering a new era in financial services?
Yeah, we're partnering with trusted software partners like nCino. We're a $6 billion bank in the Midwest. We don't have the resources and infrastructure to go out and build the technology that we know we need on our own. And so we're identifying who are the partners that we trust to help us go down that path. And so with nCino, we implemented Banking Advisor back in the fall and are utilizing that with our commercial lenders, seeing a lot of results from just the first few tools, but excited to see how we continue to grow that. That's one example, but certainly looking to our partners to help us create that technology, to create that frictionless experience for our internal users, but also for our customers.
Great. Well, we're glad to be a partner with you and on the journey with you.
Yeah.
Ryan, thanks so much for being here. We certainly appreciate your time. And thank you to the audience today. We appreciate you being with us as well. Again, I'm Brandon, and this has been Banking on Intelligence.